It was a quiet Saturday morning when I decided to visit the lake house I'd inherited from my late father. The small property sat at the end of a cul-de-sac, nestled beside a tidy suburban neighborhood. It wasn't part of the HOA community next door. But that didn't stop Karen, the self-appointed neighborhood watch captain, from believing she ruled the entire street. As I pulled into my driveway in my black sedan, I noticed her immediately, standing with her arms crossed, lips pursed, and phone already in hand. I had barely turned off the engine before she started shouting, "You can't park there. That's private property." I calmly stepped out and said, "Actually, this is my property." She scoffed, rolling her eyes. "Sure it is. I've never seen you before. I'm calling the police." I tried explaining that I owned the place and had every right to park in my own driveway, but she wasn't interested in listening. She stood at the edge of my lawn, loudly narrating my every move to the 911 operator, claiming I was trespassing and acting suspicious. I didn't argue. I just leaned against my car and waited, because I knew something she didn't. 15 minutes later, 2 officers arrived. They recognized me immediately and greeted me politely. "Good morning, Judge Peterson," one said with a nod. Karen froze, confusion spreading across her face. "Judge," she stammered. I smiled. "Yes, I serve over at the county courthouse." The officers asked me to show my ID and property deed, which I did without hesitation. Then they turned to Karen. She tried to defend herself, insisting that she was just protecting the neighborhood and that he looked suspicious. The officers calmly explained that I was well within my rights and that she was trespassing by standing on my property. When they asked her to leave, she turned bright red, muttered something about not knowing, and stormed off toward her house. I thought that would be the end of it, until 2 weeks later, her name appeared on my docket for a harassment and false report case filed by the local police department. When she walked into the courtroom and saw me behind the bench, her jaw practically hit the floor. I recused myself from the case. Of course, ethics come first, but that moment of poetic justice wasn't lost on anyone in the room. As she shuffled out, avoiding eye contact, I couldn't help but think, sometimes karma doesn't take years to show up. Sometimes it drives right up your driveway.